Okay, turn to page 57 in your 3.3 packet. We are going to go over some vocabulary having to do with angles. Okay, so page 57. And the first vocabulary word we're going to go over is adjacent angles. Okay, so I want you to write in your notes, these are angles that are next to each other. And then add, they share a ray. Now, if you look at mine here, I want you to draw pictures, see, of adjacent angles, but I'm going to make this bigger for you. But over to the left, where there's a space, first I want you to draw a ray. A ray is, you have an end point, but it goes on forever in one direction. When you draw two rays that have the same end point, you form an angle. This is angle 1. If I draw another ray, this is angle 2. Notice angle 1 and angle 2 both share this ray. Okay? So this is a picture of adjacent angles because they're next to each other and they share a ray. Now, when we name angles, we would say this is angle 1 is the same as angle BAC. A is your vertex. A always has to go in the middle. You could also call this angle CAB. You can do CAB or BAC. That doesn't matter as long as A is in the middle. Now angle 1 could be CAD, angle CAD, or it could be angle DAC. Again, A goes in the middle. They both share the ray AC. So we can have DAC, CAD, BAC, CAB. But in all cases here, A must go in the middle because that's the vertex. Okay, so that's adjacent angles. The next term is complementary angles. Now, complementary angles, two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So it has to be two angles and it adds up to 90 degrees. Okay, so a picture would be, I am drawing a 90-degree angle. How do I know it's 90 degrees? Because it's a right angle, and a right angle is 90 degrees. So this is angle 1, this is angle 2. This is an example of complementary angles because angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. So this is the picture you should draw to the left. Okay? Angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. That's complementary angles. Now, supplementary angles I want you to write two angles that add up to 180. And here we're going to draw a straight angle. Remember, a straight angle is 180 degrees. And we'll make this angle 1, this angle 2. So angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 degrees. So if this was 60, this would have to be 120. So copy that to the left-hand side of your notes. Now, so we did supplementary angles add up to 180, complementary add up to 90. C comes before S in the alphabet. 90 comes before 180 on the number line. I give you that little hint because a lot of times you remember there's these two things, complementary and supplementary. Remember 90 and 180, but you forget which goes with which. C is first in the alphabet, complementary is 90 degrees. S is first in the alphabet, 180 is supplementary. I mean, S is second in the alphabet. Okay, the last term we're going to do are vertical angles. Now, vertical angles, these are opposite angles. So, angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles because they're opposite each other. Vertical angles, I want you also to write this, vertical angles are equal in measure. So, since angle 1 is equal to angle 2, if angle 1 is 80 degrees, angle 2 would be 80 degrees. Angle 3 is vertical to angle 4. It's opposite. So if angle 3 is 100, angle 4 is 100. Notice 2 and 4 are supplementary. Why are 2 and 4 supplementary? They're supplementary because they add up to 180. Two angles that add up to 180. 1 and 3 are supplementary because they add up to 180. 2 and 3 are supplementary because they add up to 180. 2 and 3 are adjacent angles because they're neighboring angles. 2 and 4 are. 1 and 4 are. Okay? Now, let's look at the bottom of page 57, and we're going to do example 1. Now, it says because the measure of Q plus the measure of R, well, the measure of Q is 35 degrees. The measure of R is 55 degrees. If you add them together, we get 90 degrees. So if two angles add up to 90 degrees, like Q and R, what do you call them? We call them complementary. Now, I want everyone to stop the tape and try to do B and C on your own. Start it when you're done. Okay, so now P and Q. So P is 145 degrees. Q is 35 degrees. They add up to 180. Because they add up to 180, they are supplementary. And then the last one, R is 55. S is 125. They add up to 180, and because they add up to 180, they are also supplementary. Okay? Now, let's turn to page 58, and I want everyone to try checkpoint 1, 2, and 3. Okay? You try it on your own, and when you're done, start the tape back up and see if you got it correct. Okay. So number 1, the measure of angle 1 is 37. The measure of angle 2 is 73. I'm going to add them together, and this adds up to 110 degrees. Well, it's not complementary, it's not supplementary. This must be neither, because there was nothing that talked about two angles that added up to 110. The measure of angle 3, the measure of angle 4, it's 42, 48. I add them together, I get 90. So these must be complementary because two angles that add up together for 90 degrees are complementary. And then for 5 and 6, 127 plus 53 is 180 degrees. These are supplementary angles because they are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so that's the end of this tape. We'll start another tape for the rest of page 58.